Hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Chris Matthews. I'm your relationship coach and licensed marriage and family therapist. In this video, I'm going to process with you guys the 4 common types of disrespectful behaviors that lead to relationships ending. Let's jump right into it. The first common type of disrespectful behaviors that I see in my work as a couples therapist is endangerment. So what is endangerment? Endangerment is when you place your intimate partner in a position that threatens their physical, mental, or emotional health or well-being. Some examples include speaking to your partner in a loud or aggressive tone. I understand couples would get upset. I'm not talking about small fights or arguments. I'm talking about if you just are blatantly talking to your partner as if they're nothing and, yelling and cussing profusely at your partner. That's different than just natural, conflict that partners have. Next, embarrassing your partner in public by using sarcasm or disclosing private information. That's really important when I see couples who've been dating in the initial phase and they're attempting to try to be funny. I was a victim of that as well. I tried to be funny or make comments in front of other people, and I really hurt my wife, and it endangered her mental and emotional state because it bleeds into the next one. It was about her feeling embarrassed. So that's something that we don't think about that can endanger your partner. Next, failing to honor the monogamy commitment or relationship boundaries. If you've set up your relationship to only be physically intimate, have sex, or display affection toward one partner, you're physically endangering them because you could contract a sexually transmitted disease that you transfer to them. You're mentally endangering that individual because their value and self-worth is questioned when you cheat because they're wondering what they did wrong and why they weren't enough. You're emotionally hurting that individual because they now have to make a choice or decision if they're going to stay with you or not because they've been cheated on. The next disrespectful action is detaching. So what is detaching? Detaching is when you deliberately choose to ignore, neglect, or abandon your intimate partner when they're seeking your time or attention. So when partners become heated, they may desire to take space. Great. If you don't take space properly, which looks like letting your partner know where you're going and when you'll be back, then you're detaching, and that's disrespectful. If you fail to meet your partner's needs by putting more time and attention into outside relationships first, then that's a form of detachment. Also, when you choose to shut down or stonewall your partner in the middle of dialogues, that's detaching as well. You may physically be present, but you're not mentally and emotionally involved. So once again, that spirals back to make sure that if you become overwhelmed or you feel yourself shutting down, you respectfully tell your partner you need space and time, and then you initiate coming back to your partner when you're ready to talk, so you're not being disrespectful. The third type of disrespectful behavior that leads to couples divorcing or breaking up is when you devalue your partner. So what does devaluing your partner look like? Exhibiting actions or words towards your intimate partner that make them feel ashamed, insecure, humiliated, or degraded. That can be something as simple as interrupting or cutting your partner off when they speak. If your partner doesn't feel like they have a voice and they're always being cut off, that's also your way of saying you don't value what they feel or what they need to say. Also, neglecting to clean up after yourself or refusing to do joint household chores. If you and your partner have a shared space, then it's your responsibility as well to pitch in. If you're choosing to not pitch in and be a partner and clean up after yourself, that's basically your way of non-verbally saying, I don't care about your needs. I believe you're just designed to serve me. And that can also be something to look at when you place value on the person and the relationship. So do you value your partner enough to make sure that they have a clean living space? One of the things I try to do every night is make sure that before I go to sleep, there are no dishes in the sink. My wife values making sure that the house is, in a tidy fashion And it gives her that peace of mind to know that when she wakes up in the morning, she's not seeing a pile of dishes. The fourth type of disrespectful behavior is domineering behaviors. So domineering behaviors are when you attempt to control or dictate your intimate partner's thoughts, feelings, words, or actions. So what does that look like? Making important decisions without consulting with your partner first. It's been a learned behavior for me, but over the course of my 15 plus years of marriage, I've learned that when someone presents me with an opportunity, it doesn't just impact me. It impacts my wife and kids, and I owe her the respect to make sure that I process that decision with her and we come together to then make it. That's tough when couples are first coming together because you're learning how to turn I into we. And turning I into we is a process. It doesn't just happen overnight. So do be forgiving with your partner if they fail to include you. Learning how to include your partner is critical. And inclusion doesn't have to feel like you're having to compromise yourself for someone else. It looks like compromise in the terms of you both have each other's needs met at the conclusion of the decision. That's what inclusion is supposed to look like. Other types of domineering behavior that are disrespectful are telling your partner how they should think or feel. In therapy, this is really important. I help couples form a hypothesis. A hypothesis is an educated guess. So if you feel like your partner may be thinking something, ask them. Turn it into a question. That looks like, so it feels like you're upset with me, but I don't know. Are you upset with me? Versus, you always get upset with me. Those are examples of you telling your partner versus asking. Also, ignoring your partner's dreams and goals is domineering behavior. I've had the privilege and opportunity to work with a lot of high earning clients that generate a lot of revenue. And it may be one partner who was the breadwinner that could have been a potential, a former athlete, a professional athlete, or someone that's retired from a lucrative position, and their spouse now wants to make a living and develop a name for themselves, but the partner who made a lot of money doesn't know how to relinquish that control and support that other partner's dreams. So without knowing, they're being domineering and controlling in not supporting the other partner. So some examples include military spouses. If a military spouse was the one who made all the earnings and then the partner was doing the child rearing and in the house, in the homemaking, and then when they retire, that spouse may want a career and the partner is uncomfortable. It could also be, like I said earlier, a professional athlete or a performer, or someone that may have just retired from a lucrative position, or even when the kids leave the home and that caretaker partner now wants to find themselves and the traditional breadwinning partner doesn't support that. The last domineering behavior that can be disrespectful is deliberately sabotaging your partner's attempts as being seen as an individual. So making a comment about what your partner's wearing because it makes you feel bad. In other words, saying something simple like, I don't like when you wear that blouse. It makes me feel like you don't love me. And then the partner's questioning what to wear because they don't want to hurt you. That's a manipulative, domineering behavior. So anything that's going to confuse your partner with feeling the right to have their own identity can be domineering. So just to recap, the 4 types of disrespectful behaviors: endangerment, detaching, devaluing, and domineering behaviors. I hope this video was helpful. Please leave comments, press the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side.
You can never go back.